So, hello there. Thought I'd do something different this time. Might do a few more of these in the future. Basically, I'm going to play through one of my old maps and explain every single design decision in the map. Hopefully this will help people, understand some of how fights are designed and work. It also looks like this is incredibly out of sync. Doesn't really matter. Let's get into it. Also, this MIDI was not originally in the map. I just put it in because I feel like it. And it's also my map, so I can do what I want. So, this room right here. So, there's all these chain gunners around here, so what that means is that you can't shoot lest they all be awakened. And you'll probably die from that. Which is usually an unfortunate thing. There's also these barons and this archvile. This archvile effectively stops me from going up these stairs. So, since I can put the archvile in the crossfire with the baron, that's the entire gimmick of this fight. And there's all these elevators so that you can't just walk up easily without the archvile just blasting you. Alright. You can't kill any of the things there, so you just have to... Well, if you walk over this line, they all get crushed. It appears you can activate that without actually going down, so... Interesting. Guess I made some mapping errors back in the day. So, this is the next area. The way this area works is pretty simple, actually. The idea is that... Well, I might as well just put this so you can see all the stuff. So, the Hell Knights over there, they basically give this fight a timer. Because once I shoot, they will start walking towards me, giving me a limited amount of time before I have to deal with them. These other enemies are just distractions and sniper enemies, and this Arachnotron simply stops me from accessing the switch real easily. That Archvile does the same with that switch, and also denies me this entire area most of the time. Unless I can be really quick. So, the way you want to dismantle this fight, or at least the way I created to do so, is by killing these two guys, and trying to get out of the Revenant's line of fire, pressing this switch, which lowers a rocket launcher, and then coming back here, and easily killing the Hell Knights that remain. From this point, I can easily beat this fight. Oh, it looks like some guys got hung up for some reason. So yeah, that's this fight. There are two ways you can deal with this. You can also just run over here. So, yeah. That's that fight handled. This next area was just me trying to come up with some sort of pacing. Because this fight right here was originally the first fight of the map, rather than the one with all those barons and that archvile. So, this was originally just going to be my idea of pacing. Get a larger area, and then a smaller area in between to sort of break it up a little bit. So, this area, the strategy I came up with this area when I built it was pretty much just to hold the line. I don't think that was the strategy I came up with when I built it, though. I'm pretty sure my strategy was slightly different. And I'll explain it once I get into this room. Also, it looks like this guy has been released. So, the original strategy I created for this room was that you would blast one of them and then hide behind this pillar because they'd both be over there and you'd be able to block them. But sometimes you could get screwed over and get zapped. So, it's much safer to just go over here. Also, this door right here, it used to not be there. I added it there for a reason that I will explain just after opening it. You see this switch right here? It is a shoot switch. And somebody accidentally hit this switch while fighting all those guys back there because of the Hell Knight that I release. So, that was a problem in my opinion. That you can just make it completely impossible to get through. As you'll soon see. This fight is probably the most intricate that I created in this map, or one of them. So, I might not get this on my first try. After I do it once, I'll explain how it works. And if I don't get it the first time here, I'll go into God mode so that I can go through it without any issues. I'm surprised I got that on my first go around. So, I'll save this in the 2 slots, and then go back to 1. So what happens when I hit this switch? Revenants come out of these 2 areas, and Hell Knights come out of these areas. Also, a Cyber Demon is teleported in. Down here. You see this box right here on top of that pillar of rockets, and this one right here? These two are lowered later on. Also, a Cyber Demon is teleported up here as well. After, well, essentially I timed it so you would immediately want to go up here and plasma the Cyber Demon that's right here. And as soon as that Cyber Demon's dead or almost dead, the box right there and here would lower. Along with the walls right here, and right here. The wall behind here has 3 barons. This one has those archviles which are on a ledge, so all they do is deny space around here. And then there's this area, which is the greatest threat. It's got 1 archvile in the front. You can see him right here. This guy. And then it's got 8 revenants behind it. Those are your highest priority in this upper area. Trying to go into the bottom area is basically suicide. I was thinking of making it so that it wasn't suicide, but then I didn't. So, whatever. So, the strategy, I'll explain the strategy as I'm doing it this time, because I know I can well, I'm invincible, so it doesn't matter. No stakes. First, you want to go up the elevator, and then plasma the cyber. Also, those boxes, they lower before any of the other stuff lowers. So, now that that guy is done, I want to immediately target this archvile, and then the revenants. Now I want to perform a little tricky maneuvering so I can get here and get a lot more space. Now that I've got more space, I can use that to my advantage. Now I want to sort of juggle these guys if they decide to come in with killing these guys. What I kill these guys with doesn't really matter, so I'll just do it with anything. Also, if I were actually not in God mode, I would have taken down these guys before trying to go back to the archviles. I'm trying to get the Cyber Demon to infight with everything down there, because all infighting is a way to save ammunition. And when I built this map, I deliberately made ammunition quite scarce. At least, well, not compared to my newer maps, but it was scarce for me back then. If you get into this situation, or something, like you know there's guys down there, but you need them dead to get down, you just want to lure them to one corner, and then go to the other one. And there you have it, the fight is done. So, next fight. It's another one under the philosophy of filler fights, but it is quite deadly. What you want to do is try and lure everything to the center, and basically just perform that strafing technique I just did. That is the way to beat this fight. Just try and keep yourself outside of these guys' range, so that you can rocket them safely. Not like what I just did, where I made a mistake. this Baron is teleported so that it's not easy to get out. But if you're really persistent, you probably can. I'm pretty sure one of the people who playtested this map was able to do that. Now, this next fight is probably one of my favorite fights I've ever made. It's very interesting. So, I'll see if I can do it. Probably not, on first try at least. Actually, I'm just going to do it the way I did it the first time. I'll explain the fights, and then I'll play the fights. So, all of these guys are pretty much just stationary. So, you've got a couple options. You've got many options. One of the most enticing ones is to get the Cyber Demon to blast other things. And then to kill the Pain Elementals. However, this whole arena is on a clock, and when that clock strikes 0, something's going to happen. This makes this area much more difficult, and not a safe haven anymore. It also releases Archviles in this area. So, that can be very problematic. Something else. These chain gunners right here. They respawn. Some of them do. Well, they'll respawn for like a while, and then they'll stop respawning. See? But now everything's dead. Well, not dead. Everything's teleported in, or been released. The reason this Archvile's here is so that you can't just... Well, it basically just denies space. Same with this one. It means that you can't just stay in the starting area. You have to move out somewhere. After a while, this is one of the switches. It opens the exit to this room. I believe it's the only one because I wasn't very thorough back in the day. So, now that I've explained the fight, I'll go through it in God mode. So first, you want the Cyber Demon to aggro the skeletons. Well, this isn't the only way to do the fight, this is just my preferred method. Also, this guy's not aggroing the skeletons, so I'm going to try again. Maybe I should, go invincible first. So, now that they're pissed off, I want to plasma these guys. So that they can't block up the arena. A whole bunch. Then, I want to go around all these guys. Sometimes you gotta use rockets. And then blast these guys a little bit. And then try and get behind them and blast them more. At this point, you may be able to kill all of them before they get back to you, or not. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And then you can just kill anything that's left over here, following you. Everything else will infight with the Cyber Demon, and as you can see, they are all dead. At this point, I usually would kill this Archvile, and then run over here and kill these chain gunners. I'd probably use rockets first, and then do this sort of thing. That way, I have less chance of taking a lot of damage. At this point, I've got two options. And option 1 is to just kill this Cyber Demon right now, which I think is a better option. The other option is to take out the Mancubi or Archviles. So, now it's the last part of the fights. Take out the Mancubi. I've decided that for time's sake, I'm not going to go through this fight normally. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, I won't. I'll just explain how the fights work. So, this fight right here is probably the most complicated fight that I've created ever. Because there's so many different things you can do and so many parts of it. I'm planning on creating a couple fights just as complicated in Aberration Map 4, which I'm currently working on. So, you can look forward to that whenever that happens. So, this next area, we've got 16 Barons and a Cyberdemon. We've also got Archviles and Teleporters. Whatever shall we do? This is a shoot switch. So, what you want to do is basically use these teleporters to negate the attacks of the Archvile, and try and get the Cyberdemon to infight with everything else. And whenever the Archvile targets you, just use the teleporter. Or when you're in a situation like this, where it's pretty not good. But when you're given an opportunity like this, where you can escape the Archvile blast, take it. The Archviles respawn once, so that might be a problem for you, maybe. But it appears the Cyberdemon won this time. Sometimes the Barons win. In that case, things are easier. So, I didn't actually need to use the teleporters at all. Surprising. I'll basically just demonstrate what that would look like if they ever target me. Is this guy gonna target me? Alright, so you see how he targeted me there? I would use the teleporter to escape his blasts, if need be. But if you've got a good opportunity to not have to do that, then you'd want to take it instead. So, this next fight, second to last, what you want to do is not that. So, there's a Cyberdemon right here. There's a bunch of Arachnotrons, and then there's a bunch of Mancubi, and then some Revenants facing away from you until you fire. The idea for this fight is that you get the Cyberdemon to infight with one group, and then hide behind the other. I would normally choose the Arachnotrons, so that's my personal preference though. because Arachnotrons have a high pain chance, so you can just completely stop them from attacking. So, yeah, this is what I would do. Unfortunately, he got pissed off with me, so I'd have to just make him infight with everything. Sometimes he'll win, sometimes not. It doesn't really matter whether he wins or not, because there's enough space that you can kill him fairly easily. And here's the final fight. It's a very simple fight. It's simply a circle strafe gauntlet where the only goal is to kill the Archviles and, if necessary, take Megaspheres. But only when necessary. So, here it is. The Revenants force you to essentially circle strafe, or constantly strafe. Also, you don't want to waste cells a whole bunch, because I'm pretty sure there's a decently limited amount here. Although, not anymore for me, because I've gotten a lot better at the game since I made this map. It seemed a lot more limited to me back when I created it. And then at the end of the fight, everything will get crushed that's up there. For some reason I decided to use Fast Crushers. Not sure why. They're ineffective. But anyways, that's it. That's the, I guess, analysis of the map. Hope you enjoyed or possibly learned something. All of my fight designs in this map are decent or fairly good, so I thought this would be a good candidate. Anyways, that's about it for today. I'll possibly see you soon, depending on whether or not I feel like doing anything, or my UV maxes get finished or not. So, goodbye. Have a good day. I'll see you next time.